Hi, welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside on another happenstance, call it a nature moment. As I'm walking through the forest, I am very much aware that with it being incredibly warm seasonally, but also so very dry over the past, well, 2 months really, we are experiencing a significant dry spell with increased temperatures. And that's really had a stressor on our forests. So I notice, for example, some of the smaller trees, the saplings, like this one here behind me, they're not even changing color. They're just drying out. And I hope that the leaf bud has had a chance to harden off. But what drew my attention in this moment was a small patch of discoloration on the ground. I know there are patches of this forest that I walk in regularly where they do some test sites dropping ash and they study the trees. And we've got access paths for university students who come to take readings on the success of introducing carbon into the soil and some ash, which does change the chemistry. So yeah, it's a science program based on a couple of universities to see the benefits of introducing ash into the forest does to change the soil chemistry and improve the production of specifically the maple trees. So what I thought was ash is not in fact ash. So there's a little patch here on the ground that drew my attention, and well, it looked like ash, but after looking around, it's an infestation. So that little mark on the ground that's discolored the leaves is not actually the leaf being discolored. It's being covered by waste from an infestation of insects. So what I have here in this young tree is an infestation of woolly aphids. Woolly aphids are, there's no mistaking them. All right. You can't tell that they're aphids unless you know that they're woolly aphids. Most aphids have a round body, pretty soft body. They're pretty small. But when you get the woolly aphid like this, wow, they are striking. They have a very unique look. The fact that they're white and fuzzy, and then they sort of move and dance. So that's a built-in defense. So it's a secretion that they have that gives them this waxy coating, and it actually has this fuzz, which makes them less likely to be harvested by ants, which is what they're known for, or even eaten by other predatory insects. The one predator they do have is the earwig, but I am noticing that there are a number of wasps around. Normally, when we find black aphids and green aphids on lesser plants, like on flowering plants and perennials, you'll often be followed by ants that are more or less farming them for their sugars. So these aphids, the woolly aphid specifically, is known for thriving in infesting a tree that is already stressed. So they're sap-suckers. Unfortunately, they're literally sucking the life out of this young beech sapling. And this is about the sixth beech of this size, the sapling specifically, that I've noticed those markings on the ground, which is directly underneath the infestation. It's not the whole tree, it's just a couple branches. But now that I'm looking for them, I've already seen 6 of them on my walk today. I can just look around and I can see another mark here on the ground, and yeah, right, there's another infestation again. It's on a young beech, American beech, which this tree is already stressed because it being so dry, and now having its its branches having being leached. I can already see that the effects of where that infestation in this branch is already starting to have leaves change their color. So that plant is suffering. Right? It's already in distress. That's what makes it a more viable host. I don't often see, again, maybe it's because of the access, but I do know that the woolly aphid has 2 different stages in its life cycle, which isn't terribly long relative to some other insects. It'll have one plant or one tree species that'll prefer to be in a juvenile. And then when we get to this stage, they'll move to their secondary host. So yeah, unfortunately, another sign that the forest is being impacted by this dry spell. All right, it's more than just premature leaf drop. It's more than just the younger plants dying off in the perennials, the low-growing perennials that are more, that have more shallow roots. They have been seasonally prematurely hardened off and yellowed and just disappeared. So I do have hope that we'll get some moisture in the coming days and weeks, enough to replenish the water table, but also to rejuvenate, in the hopes that we haven't lost the potential health and success in next year's buds in all the trees. So the older trees, they're less stressed because they've done this before and they've got some experience and they've got some resource they can tap into. But it's the younger trees that will suffer. They don't have the capacity or the energy to fight off an infestation like those woolly aphids. So another thing that I'm looking out for, seeing the impact and the strain and the stresses on my local forest. Thank you very much for watching. If you're outside, just walk around and notice the seasonal changes around you. Noticing seasonal changes in your environment is known as phenology. All right, it's more than just the weather. It's how the changes of the season happening to all living things. So it's its own branch of science. And learn more. In order to do that, you got to go outside. It's so good for you. There's so much happening every day, a day of change. All right. I'll find more. I'll share more. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.